What if the woman everyone tried to break was the only one strong enough to save the man everyone else feared? The rock shattered Mina Homer's kitchen window before the bread had even finished rising. She froze where she stood, hands covered in flour, heart pounding so hard it felt like the whole cabin could hear it. Warm desert wind rushed through the broken glass, carrying grit across her floor. She didn't duck. She didn't scream. She only stared at the stone tied with a scrap of dirty paper. The message was short and angry. Mudblood. Go back to the canyon. Mina didn't flinch. She had lived her whole life being too much and not enough at the same time. Too brown for the white folks in Dustbone, too white for her mother's Navajo kin, too big to hide, too quiet to pick fights, but strong enough to survive what they whispered about her. She stepped outside barefoot. The earth burned her soles, but she didn't react. Only a single boot print remained, leading toward town. Whoever had thrown that rock didn't even have the courage to stand and face her. Inside, her bread kept rising. It had been a quiet morning until now. She had woken before sunrise, done her chores, kneaded dough with the same steady hands that once held her mother's fading face. Her cabin sat a mile outside Dustbone, close to the Red Canyon cliffs. Folks said it was strange she lived alone out here. Mina liked it that way. Close to noon, the only man she trusted came by. Thomas Reyes leaned on her porch rail with his guitar, hat low over kind eyes. "You here?" he asked while plucking a soft tune. "A rider came through Blacktooth Pass last night. Nobody knows who he is." Mina chopped dried sage without looking up. Could be a traitor. Not this one. Rode like he was running from ghosts. Camped on the ridge, gone before sunup. Folks say he used to know this place. Mina paused only a moment. "Everyone's running from something, Thomas." He nodded slow. Not everyone circles back to where they bled. Those words followed her all day. By sundown, the sky was bleeding red across the cliffs when Mina noticed a tall rider approaching her cabin. A tired bay mare carried a heavy figure. He dismounted with a quiet grunt, favoring one leg. "Evening," he said. "Storm caught me on the ridge. Lost my gear. Could I trouble you for a loaf and maybe some salt?" His voice came low and weary, like it carried miles of sorrow. Dust covered most of his face. But when the fading light hit him just right, recognition hit her harder than any thrown rock. Cole McCrae. The man the town never stopped whispering about. The soldier whose wife died in the fever. The man who buried her alone and rode out into the night without a word. Some said the fever took his mind. Others blamed him for bringing it. Mina stepped inside and returned with a warm loaf wrapped in burlap. "It won't stay warm by morning," she said. He held it like it might crumble in his hands. "Thank you. I'll pay you back." "You don't owe me anything," she said. Their eyes met. For a moment, the world went still. The wind softened. The earth seemed to breathe. He nodded once and walked toward her shed to rest. That night, Mina burned the hateful note in her stove. Cole slept in the shed. The desert was dark and alive with old whispers. Dustbone always remembered its dead, even when the living tried to forget. At dawn, Cole woke to find a tin cup of hot coffee and a small cactus blossom waiting by the shed door. Mina had left it without saying a word. He found her in the herb garden, barefoot in the morning dirt. "You left these," he said, holding the cup. "I only have 2, she replied. He nodded, then asked, "The flower, it means something, doesn't it?" Quote. She met his eyes. "Everything out here means something, if people bother to understand." The morning passed in a soft, shared silence. Cole chopped wood without being asked. Mina shaped dough with quiet patience. They didn't talk much. They didn't need to. By noon, he asked about the town. "Still dusty, still mean," she said. He let out a dry laugh. "Sounds about right." She kept kneading. He kept watching her hands, steady and strong. Then Cole spoke more quietly. "They say someone broke your window yesterday." Mina said nothing. "You scared?" he asked softly. "No," she said. "Fear belongs to people who care what others think." He stared at her with a look she didn't recognize. Respect, maybe, or something deeper. By evening, he rode into town. By the time he returned, Mina was waiting near the dry creek. He could see the tension in her shoulders. "They're still talking about you," Cole said. "Old hate sticks easier than new truth." Mina nodded. "It always has." "Why stay?" he asked. She looked at the canyon walls glowing in the sunset. "Because if I leave, they win. And if they come for you?" She turned her eyes toward him, calm and unshaken. "Then I let them try." For the first time in a long time, Cole felt something shift inside him, something like loyalty, something like hope. That night, under a sky full of cold stars, the two sat by her fire, close enough to share warmth, far enough to hide their pain. "Your window," Cole said. "They shouldn't have done that." Mina didn't look up. "They don't like what they don't understand." He stared at her quiet strength, at the softness she tried to hide. "You're nothing like what they say," he murmured. She finally looked at him. "And you're nothing like the ghosts they told stories about." Two broken souls, two heavy pasts, one tiny ember warming between them. Neither asked for it, neither expected it. But the desert has a way of bringing together those who need each other most. What if the thing haunting Dustbone wasn't just fear, but something that wanted a body to hide inside? Cole woke before sunrise to a strange silence. The kind that didn't belong to the desert. No wind, no birds, no shifting sand. It felt like the whole land was holding its breath. He stepped out of the shed and saw Mina already outside, with a shawl wrapped tight around her shoulders. She wasn't looking at him. She was staring at the ground. Someone had drawn a symbol in the dirt, two straight lines crossing a jagged slash. Cold ran up Cole's spine. "Another warning?" Mina's voice was quiet but firm. "Not from people." Cole didn't like that answer, but before he could ask more, Thomas Reyes rode into the yard fast. His face was pale, his hands shaking around the reins. "Rafi's missing," he said. "My nephew disappeared last night." Mina stiffened. Cole cursed under his breath. Thomas climbed down from the horse, fighting panic. "Last place he was seen?" Cole asked. "Near the canyon edge. Same direction someone saw smoke after midnight." Mina's jaw tightened. "Smoke means ritual." Thomas swallowed. "Folks think it was you, Mina. They say the boy came near your place." Mina didn't even blink. "He came to my door. He wasn't alone." Cole stepped closer to her in a quiet act of protection. "We're going to help search. Nobody blames her unless they're looking for an easy answer." They rode toward town together. The sun was barely up, but the streets buzzed with fear. Women stood in clusters whispering, the preacher's wife crying into her shawl. Men loaded rifles, even though none of them had ever hunted more than jackrabbits. Sheriff Costa approached Mina before she even got off the mule. "Folks are saying you were seen doing strange things up by Deadwash," he said. Mina stared at him. "I was praying." He folded his arms, in a tongue nobody understands. Cole stepped forward. "Leave her be. She's helping, not hurting." But Costa wasn't listening. Fear had already tangled itself around his pride. "Stay close to town," he warned Mina. "No wandering. No strange burning. No midnight lights." "Or what?" Cole growled. Costa looked him in the eye. "Or we treat you like the threat folks say you are." Mina didn't show an ounce of fear. "Find the boy," she said, walking past him. But Cole saw the way her hands trembled when she thought no one was watching. They searched for hours. Ridge lines, dry creek beds, the canyon trail. Nothing. Not a track, not a torn scrap, not a sound. By sunset, Mina and Cole reached the high ridge where the land fell into a cracked basin. It was quiet there. Too quiet. Mina knelt, touching the earth with her fingertips. "He's not gone," she whispered. "He's somewhere between." "Between what?" Cole asked. She didn't answer. She didn't know how to. That night, the cabin felt smaller than usual. Cole sat sharpening his blade again, eyes fixed on the door. Mina ground herbs in her bowl, her movements slower than usual. "Tell me," he said. "What? What you're afraid of?" She didn't meet his eyes. "When I was a child, boys tied me to a tree outside the church, said they wanted to see if half-bloods burned slower. They didn't light the match, but they wanted to." Cole felt something crack inside him. She added softly, "People don't need proof to hate, they just need a reason." He spoke quietly. "Not everyone is like that." She glanced at him. "You weren't always like this. You used to walk straight past me in Dustbone." He swallowed hard. "I was a coward back then." Mina didn't deny it. The fire cracked between them, the only sound in the growing darkness. Just after midnight, the first knock came. Soft. Too soft. Then came another knock. And another. Not on the door. On the walls. Someone, or something, was circling the cabin, tapping along the wood like it was counting the boards. Cole grabbed his rifle. Mina whispered, "Don't open the door, no matter what voice you hear." The tapping moved from one side of the house to the other, slow and patient. Cole stood braced with the gun. Mina struck cedar and let the smoke fill the cabin. At the third round of knocking, a small, trembling voice came through the door. "Mr. Homer, it's me, Rafi. I'm scared." Cole's grip tightened. "Don't open it," he whispered. Mina stepped toward the door anyway and cracked it open just an inch. There was no one there. Only small footprints in the dust, leading toward the ridge and fading as the darkness swallowed them. "We find him at dawn," she said. Cole nodded. "We'll go together." But Dustbone woke first. By morning, someone had carved one word into Mina's front door. "Witch." Cole tried to wipe it off. Mina stopped him. "Let them see what they've called me," she said. They rode into town to face the fear directly. The moment they entered, silence fell around them. Men stared. Women stepped back. Someone spit near Cole's boots. Inside the saloon, Thomas met them with trembling hands. "I got news," he said. "A sheep herder up near the bluffs saw Rafi 2 nights ago. Said the boy was walking barefoot, but the herder swears the boy cast no shadow." Mina's blood went cold. Cole looked at her. "Tell me you don't believe that." She nodded once. "Old stories say shadows carry your life. If you lose yours, something else found you first." They rode hard to the bluffs, but they found only wind-blown dirt and silence. No tracks, no shadow, no Rafi. When they returned to town, fear had reached its boiling point. People surrounded Mina, their eyes sharp and hateful. Sheriff Costa pushed through the crowd. "Mina to Homer," he said. "You need to come with us." Cole stepped in front of her. "She isn't going anywhere." Costa didn't even address him. "This ain't optional. You were the last one seen speaking to the boy." They didn't take her to jail. They took her to the church cellar, a stone room with 1 stool and 1 iron lock. The door stayed open, but a rifleman stood outside. Reverend Maddox entered next. He didn't look her in the eye. "You frighten folks," he said. "Your ways frighten them." Mina lifted her chin. "Truth scares people who live in lies." He winced, but didn't disagree. Cole arrived minutes later, ignoring everyone telling him to stay out. He grabbed Mina's hands. "They're building a noose around your neck." "I know," she said. "You need to defend yourself," he begged. She looked up at him with the saddest strength he had ever seen. "I've been defending myself since I was born." Hours passed. Fear grew. Whispers spread. People were certain now. The missing boy, the strange wind, the symbols, the screams at night, all connected to her. By evening, Mina knew exactly what Dustbone had become. A spark, a fuse, a place ready to burn her alive. When Sheriff Costa finally returned, he didn't come alone. 2 councilmen stood beside him with cold faces and folded accusations. "Someone claims they saw you with the boy at the ridge," Costa said. "That's a lie," Cole snapped. Mina raised a hand to silence him. "It's all right," she said calmly. "Let me speak." She stepped toward the doorway and faced them all. "I didn't take Rafi Reyes. I didn't curse him. I didn't summon anything from the dark. I prayed for him. Your fear is louder than your faith. If you want to punish me for being different, then say that. But don't pretend it's justice." Costa swallowed, unsure. People outside stared in silence. Dustbone was sharpening its cruelty, and something in the desert was waking with it. What if saving a town that hated her meant walking straight into the darkness that wanted her name? The heat came first. Not the normal dry heat of Dustbone, but a thick, heavy heat that felt like the earth itself was running a fever. Chickens stopped moving. Horses refused water. The air over the church shimmered like a warning. Rafi Reyes still hadn't been found. Fear turned uglier. By the next morning, someone had dumped chicken bones tied with twine on Mina's doorstep. A curse. A threat. A promise. Cole kicked the bundle into the dirt. "They're coming for you." Mina nodded once. "They always come." That same afternoon, Thomas arrived breathless. "Word from a herder up north," he said. "He saw a boy walking along the ridge 2 nights ago. Said the boy didn't cast a shadow." Mina's face went pale. "Shadow means life," she whispered. "If it's gone, something else is wearing him." Cole grabbed his saddle. "We're finding him now." They rode toward the bluffs. The wind died as they climbed. When they reached the ridge, even the stones felt wrong. Dry. Watching. There were no tracks. No boy. No noise. Only silence deep enough to drown in. "This place took something from him," Mina whispered. "The veil's thin here." "The veil?" Cole asked. "Between the living and the shadows that want them." By the time they returned to town, the tension had snapped like a dry rope. Sheriff Costa and 3 deputies waited on Mina's porch. "You're coming with us," Costa said. "Questions need answering." "Is she under arrest?" Cole demanded. "No," Costa said, "but we can fix that if she doesn't cooperate." Mina stepped forward before Cole could stop her. "I'll go." They didn't take her to the jail. They took her to the church cellar. The room was cold. Windowless. The scent of mildew clung to the walls. A single stool sat in the center like an accusation. Reverend Maddox entered, his hands shaking. "You frightened folks, Miss Homer," he said. "Your ways, your prayers, the fire last night, the symbols." Mina didn't blink. "People fear what they refuse to understand." His voice cracked. "The women say they saw you near the ridge, with a child." Mina stared at him. They would rather believe a lie than admit their own fear. Outside, Cole shoved past the guard. He knelt in front of her. "They're going to kill you." Mina's eyes softened. "I've been living with that threat my whole life." "You're not alone anymore," Cole whispered. She looked at him, really looked at him, and something warm flickered between them. But the door slammed open again. Sheriff Costa returned with 2 town elders. They brought a folded piece of paper, an accusation scribbled in panic by someone desperate to blame her. Cole stood. "This is garbage." Mina gripped his arm. "Let me speak." She faced them, calm as stone. "I didn't take Rafi. I didn't harm him. Fear is leading you, not truth. If you want to punish me for being different, then say that, but don't hide behind the boy's name." They didn't answer. They backed away. Dustbone always wanted an enemy. And Mina had always been an easy one. That night, Cole refused to leave her cabin. Mina stood by the fire, grinding herbs. 3 people have fever," she said. "If I don't help, they die." "You're not going alone," Cole said, but before she could answer, a scream tore through the night. Not a human scream, something deeper, something wrong. It echoed all the way from the church. Mina and Cole ran. People gathered outside, terrified, frozen. No one dared open the church doors. "Rafi's in there," Thomas cried. "The Reverend locked him inside to pray the demon out of him." Mina stepped onto the porch. "Cole," she whispered, "kick it open." He slammed his boot into the door until the hinges gave way. The smell hit them first. Rot, heat, something old. Reverend Maddox lay curled on the ground, eyes wild. "He's not the boy," the Reverend whispered. "Not the boy." Quote. Rafi sat in the front pew, still and pale, his eyes rolled back, his mouth hung open. Mina rushed to him. "Rafi," she whispered. "Come back." The boy didn't move. Cole froze as the air around them shifted, heavy, cold and hot at the same time, like something breathing without lungs. Old Lena appeared in the doorway, leaning on a cane, wrapped in 3 blankets. "You're late," she rasped at Mina. Mina's voice trembled. "Tell me what to do." "You have to follow him in," the old woman said. "Into the in-between. Bring him back." Cole grabbed Mina's wrist. "You can't." "I can," she said softly. "He's just a child." Mina pressed her hands to Rafi's shoulders. She whispered old words. Words her grandmother used to whisper when the dark came too close. The room began to spin. The air thinned. Cole grabbed her. And she was gone. Inside the dark she felt everything and nothing. Cold, metal, salt, wind, without direction. Rafi stood ahead, walking toward a great pulsing shadow. "Rafi!" she cried. He didn't turn. She ran and grabbed his arm. His skin was icy. "You don't belong here," she said. "There's something behind me," he whispered with a voice not his own. Mina turned. She saw nothing, but she felt it, a hunger, a hollow, a grin inside the dark. "You can't have him," Mina said. The darkness charged. Mina held Rafi close, closed her eyes, and shouted a word older than the land beneath them. And, suddenly, she gasped back into the church. Rafi collapsed into her arms, sobbing. Cole grabbed her shoulders. "Mina, Mina, look at me. Are you here?" She nodded weakly. "I brought him home." Outside, the town fell silent as Mina stepped into the street with the boy clinging to her. "He wasn't cursed," she said. "He was taken by something that walks between shadows. If you don't start respecting the land you live on, this won't be the last child it touches." No one argued. They couldn't. By morning, Dustbone had changed. Quietly. Slowly. But it changed. 1 year later, Mina's cabin had become a small bakery. Children laughed on her porch. People greeted her without fear. Some still whispered behind her back, but even their whispers had softened. Every Sunday, Rafi brought her a flower. He never forgot. Cole remained by her side, fixing the porch, tending the garden, riding with her in the evenings. They didn't speak big promises. They didn't need to. Sometimes a man broken by grief finds the one woman the world tried to break, and together they learn how to live again. Sometimes love grows in the quiet, in the scars, in the places no one thinks to look. And sometimes the bravest thing a woman can do is believe she is worthy of being loved back.